like, girl, there are bigger fish to fry than door frames not being the right lengths. Like, come on now. What's up, you guys? Welcome to the channel. It's your girl JD here, back with another video. So as you can see, I'm looking really rough today. Okay, I need to do my hair. I'm actually in the process of getting ready, so I figured I might as well again talk to you guys while I'm getting ready. I'm just doing my hair today. I'm not putting on any makeup because whenever I try to do makeup and talk, it doesn't work. But I can do my hair while I talk, but makeup, another story. Can't do it. Today we're going to be talking about 90 Day Fiance The Other Way season 5, and I'm going to be talking about two couples in particular because they are low-key kind of the craziest in my opinion. The other ones, two of them, they returned from previous seasons, so I'm not going to really be bothering to talk about them because there really isn't much to talk about. One of them being Danielle and Johan. If y'all remember, I did a whole video about them because they were in The Other Way season 4. So if y'all would like to check that out, I'll put it in the corner here, but I'm not going to be talking about them much. But either way, the couples that we are going to be focusing on in this video, Brandon and Mary, and Kimberly and TJ, because I can't say his actual name. I can't pronounce that. I'm sorry. So I'm just gonna call him what Kimberly calls him, which is TJ. I'm just gonna unravel my hair because it's in this big dookie braid. I feel like whenever I come on this camera to like do my hair and get ready with y'all, my hair is in a dookie braid and it looks horrible. It needs to wash. I'll be washing tomorrow. But yeah, so let's talk about TJ and Kimberly first, because I feel like even though I have a lot to say about both of these couples, I think I have more to say about Brandon and Mary, so I'm gonna save them for the last. But Kimberly is 30 and she's from Alabama, and TJ is from India and he is 33. So we're not dealing with an age gap couple this time. They seem to be pretty, you know, on par with each other. The last American and Indian couple that I talk about was Jenny and Sumit, and obviously there was like a 20 or 30 year age gap, something crazy, okay, like at least 2 decades difference between the two of them in terms of age. So I'm happy this time that, you know, at least these two, they're within the same age bracket. Now obviously when it comes to Indian families and, you know, your parents, they prefer, okay, that the person that you're trying to marry, as the son of the family, they're trying to make sure that, you know, the girl that you're marrying, she knows about the Indian traditions and way of living and all that type of stuff. But you love who you love, I guess, right? So TJ comes on and he kind of explains all of that, you know, because when it comes to love marriages in a very traditional country such as India, it's kind of unheard of to have a marriage where you just don't have to deal with getting it arranged, you know? Kimberly is moving over to India to be with TJ, and TJ is basically in the process of building an apartment on top of the house that he lives with currently with his parents, so that him and Kimberly can live in when she moves there. And she's basically moving there to get married. I believe they actually got engaged after just, I think she said like 2 weeks or 3 weeks of knowing each other. I don't know, but it was pretty short. But apparently Kimberly is a clairvoyant, and she's saying that she heard in a dream, or got the message in a dream, that TJ is supposed to be her fiance or new man, basically. So that's when she decided to message him. I don't entirely remember how that went down, but either way, I think TJ said he was doing some meditations and was trying to manifest being able to speak to her or whatever, like manifest their relationship. I don't know, but either way, they're together, they're engaged, and obviously when Kimberly comes over to India, they're getting married. But Kimberly is having issues with regards to not being heard. When she touches down in India, she feels as though no one's listening to her or taking into consideration what she wants, especially when it comes to the wedding and the apartment. She comes from an Italian family. When it comes to cooking, for example, she wants to use onion and garlic, but onion and garlic in the Indian culture, according according to TJ, you don't really use them. I don't know, correct me on it if I'm wrong, but I believe that's what he said. So that was an issue, as small as it sounds. And then also the wedding planning, because Kimberly isn't there, obviously TJ's family has to take on a lot of the responsibilities with planning and getting her dress. And Kimberly's coming from the US, so she's trying to get used to the idea of not wearing white for her wedding. In India, I believe the color is red, so I think she's having some issues accepting that as well. When she finally gets to India, she basically has a breakdown when she sees the apartment. So TJ had actually taken out a whole loan to basically try and pay for everything that he needs to get this apartment built. And Kimberly was not having it, y'all. She was not having it in the slightest. She was like, what is this? She was literally pointing out how one door frame didn't match the height of the other door frame and how there wasn't any toilet paper. This girl started crying, y'all. She started legit crying, where she seemed to be so frustrated with the fact that TJ wasn't taking heed of what she was saying and what she wanted in the apartment. I'm like, girl, there are bigger fish to fry than door frames not being the right lengths. Like, come on now. But hold on one second, y'all. I just need to part this hair of mine real quick because I can't really see what I'm doing. So I'm gonna have to come back. Just give me 1 second. Okay, I'm back now, y'all. I had to part my hair straight down the middle because I'm gonna be doing 2 buns and then like braids in the front. I kind of saw Rihanna do this style. This was over on Instagram though, so I was like, yeah, I want to try it, you know? Anyways, like I was saying about TJ and Kimberly. So TJ ends up walking away because he's just like, listen, I just made all of these sacrifices for you, took out a whole loan trying to build this apartment, trying to make it look nice for you when you come, and you know, you don't even acknowledge my efforts. Like, I'll be frustrated too. Hold on, let me spray because it's getting all in my eye. Anyways, yeah, I would be kind of mad if I did all of this to make sure that somebody is comfortable. Well, not somebody, but the love of my life, okay, that I'm trying to marry. She comes over and I try to make her as comfortable as possible because I know she's in a foreign country and she's moving over here for me. I want to make sure that she's good. And she does not acknowledge any of what TJ does. Like, she complains probably right as soon as she touches down in India. She starts complaining and it's just like, oh my god, like, you are so irritating. I don't know how this is gonna go down. It looks as though she hasn't really interacted much with the family just yet because obviously, like I said, you know, the apartment's being built on top of the family home, so they are gonna have to obviously see each other. It looks as though she's okay with them. It's just that she's not really okay with living with them, basically, or not living with them necessarily, but living very close to them, basically. So I don't know how this is gonna work out, honestly. Like, in long term, are they even going to be able to make it to marriage? That is the real question. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know. You know, I really don't know. But now we can move on to Brandon and Mary. Oh Lord, hot mess. Like, y'all, hot mess. Okay, Brandon and Mary, they're both 23. So Brandon is from Oregon and Mary is from the Philippines. Y'all, I feel like this couple is honestly a hot piping mess. And I kind of, in my mind, you know, make sense of it all by basically saying that they're young. But I think that honestly, it'll probably only get worse from here. I don't actually think they're ever gonna grow out of the weird relationship that they're in at the moment. I think they met each other through online dating. It sounds as though Brandon might have some insecurities with regards to how he looks because he basically opens up by saying Mary was kind of out of my league and all that type of stuff. And I was like, okay, why do you feel the need to say that? You know what I mean? It's just really weird. They pretty much talk about how they met and then they go into their current relationship, how their dynamics are together, and I honestly feel like it's super toxic. I think both of them have issues, but I think Mary has major issues. Like, this girl wants to be on the phone 24/7 with Brandon. Okay, when I say 24/7, I mean 24/7. Okay, like I mean that. They go to sleep on the phone, literally watching each other sleep. Obviously they're in two totally different time zones, so when one goes to sleep, the other stays awake watching them sleep. I'm not even kidding. Like they watch each other sleep, y'all. When, you know, they wake up, that's the first person that they see. Whenever they need to go to the bathroom, they take the phone or whatever device they're using to contact the other person. They pretty much have to take them into the bathroom with them. But what gets me is that Brandon does all of this because Mary pretty much thinks that he's cheating. Every time he comes off the phone, she thinks that he is talking to some girl, trying to get her number, holler at her, all that good stuff. It looks as though there's some type of trauma when it comes to Mary in terms of her past relationship. She had someone constantly lie to her and cheat on her and that type of stuff. So I get it, but it was like, girl, this is very much so unresolved and I'm gonna need you to get it together. Oh, maybe I put too much. I think I put too much moisturizer. It's way down now. Oh, this looks bad. Anyway, they have to be on the phone with each other 24/7 because Mary does not trust Brandon. But it's looking as though Brandon also has a little bit of trust issues as well, but not on the same level as Mary, if we're going to be real. Just definitely not on the same level at all. What I think is extra crazy though is that Mary has all these standards. Even when Brandon has to meet up with his family members, she has to be on the phone. And also Brandon can't go and visit his mom because his mom has roommates that are also female. And she is thinking that these females, I guess, are interested in Brandon in the first place. It's just like, okay. He can't visit his mom unless the mom comes out and they meet somewhere, and then whenever they meet somewhere, she also has to be on the phone. So they can't have any intimate conversations as a family. Brandon comes from a very kind of tumultuous background as well. His mom couldn't really be there for him. I think she was having some issues with some substances and she was kind of in and out of rehab. So the dad was mainly the one that had to take care of them, him and his siblings anyway. But it looks as though the dad was kind of abusive. So eventually his godparents had taken him in, and I'm not entirely sure what happened to the rest of his siblings, but I know him for sure. He got taken in by his godparents. Now he lives in a camper in their yard. So it looks as though he kind of figured some things out when it comes to his life. But what gets me is that the fact that he has to be on the phone 24/7 with Mary, he can't have a job. Because what job is going to be okay with you being on the phone with your girlfriend? You know what I'm saying? Like, what? He's not able to basically hold down a job, and I just think that's just so dumb. It's so dumb. Excuse my language, but it's so dumb. You're talking about moving to the Philippines to live with your girlfriend, marry her more than likely, and you have no money. You're scraping by, but you think this is okay, this is normal? It doesn't make sense. I think Mary doesn't make sense. And what gets me is that he does all of this. He makes all these sacrifices. Even when he tried to go fishing with his godparents, he had to make sure that he had cell service or internet connection where he was. And I'm just like, are you serious? When you go fishing with family, it's really giving you have some unresolved traumas that you need to work on, Mary. Okay, like seriously, it's bad. I've never seen it this bad with a couple before in my life on this show. Mary does all of this, makes a fuss about everything to do with his life, but when it comes to hers, she thinks it's okay to just turn her internet off and pretend as though the power went out so that she could sneak out and go hang out with her friends who are guys. But yet this man can't have a job. Like, what? But Mary did bring up the fact that at one point she was going to school. She was also in the dance team, I think she said. She was also doing modeling, but she had to give that up because Brandon didn't like that. So that's a little weird, okay? And the fact that she had to give up dance, she basically had to drop out of school too. Correct me if I don't have that right, but I think she dropped out of school because of that boy. And I'm just like, girl, are you crazy? I don't understand how her grandparents, because she was raised by her grandparents, I don't think her parents were ever really in the picture, but it gets me that they didn't really say anything. So that's just really crazy to me that they're making all of these crazy life decisions because of this relationship and still don't think it's toxic. Like, what? They just kind of irritate me. I'm not even gonna lie. And what's crazy also is that somehow Brandon is able to scrummage together some money to go over to the Philippines. He gets to his seat in the airplane, and of course, Mary is on the phone up until they lift off, basically. And he's showing her that he has to sit next to a woman passenger. And Mary starts throwing a fit, like she's hanging up, basically saying that this relationship is over. And I'm like, girl, what? Really though, if you think about it, I look crazy. But back on track. This man can't even sit next to a passenger that's a woman on an airplane. That was just so dumb. Yet again, like, that's the dumbest thing I have ever heard someone get mad about when it comes to a relationship. That was just so crazy to me. She is delusional. I honestly think that because they're so young, they really should take some type of advice from the adults around them, because this is just not healthy. Brandon makes his way over to the Philippines, and it's kind of awkward because the brother comes with Mary to the airport to pick him up, and they're kissing each other, hugging on each other, and the brother's just like, hey, the kissing's okay with me, but it's not gonna be okay with our grandparents because they're very traditional and strict, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, ooh, this is gonna be interesting. Brandon got kind of caught off guard. He was like, why didn't Mary tell me this? Like, this is not allowed. But he got to meet the grandparents. It was kind of awkward though, I'm not even gonna lie, because he didn't really have anything to say, even though he was asking Mary to translate for him. I'm curious to see where this relationship ends up going, because it just seems so not right. The fact that both of them are giving up portions or components that make up a life. I just personally feel that this is not going to last, and if it does, it's going to be at the expense of both of them, like both of their happiness. So I just don't see this working out well. I hope the grandparents decide to actually tell them, like sit them down and be like, hey, this is not going to work. You know what I mean? I just think that someone has to intervene. I think Brandon's mom was trying to say a few things, basically trying to have a conversation before he left for the Philippines to basically say to him, this is not good for you, okay? The fact that we can't have a relationship just because of this girl that you just randomly met online. It honestly broke my heart that she's now trying to reconnect with her son now that she's on the straight and narrow and healthy. It kind of makes me sad that she had to now give him away to this girl that really isn't healthy for him. It's just so irritating that when people don't really understand what you're trying to say to them, and that you're just trying to steer them in the right direction because you love them, you know? But it's rather aggravating when they don't see it that way and they just see it as you're trying to come against their love and, you know, ruin their relationship. And it's just like, it's not like that at all. When it comes to TJ and Kimberly, I think they're okay. You know, they just need to work out a few things, and Kimberly just needs to stop throwing tantrums every 2 seconds. TJ is clearly doing his best. Like, give him a minute to, you know, get things together. I just think Kimberly's expectations were just a little too high, because it's a totally different country, number one, and TJ's doing what he can, you know what I mean? So either you're going to just help, or you're just gonna have to be quiet and sit in the corner. So that's all I have to say on them. But I think that Brandon and Mary, it's only gonna continue to go downhill. If I'm going to be real, it's only gonna continue to go downhill, because I think both of them need to work on themselves. Like, if we're going to be real, they need to work on themselves. They're super young, so they have time. But it's just like, y'all need to rectify some things. Get it together first before you try to be together, okay? But the only thing is, now Brandon has officially moved to the Philippines. So I don't know how this is gonna work out. I really don't. Anyways, I'm just gonna finish my hair off camera and come back to, you know, finish this video real quick. I'm back, y'all. I apologize if you hear the rain in the background. It just decided to start picking up as soon as I, you know, got finished. I just remembered I didn't actually put any moisturizer on my face. I think the other couple that I think was probably kind of interesting is probably Holly and Wayne. Holly is from Utah and Wayne is from South Africa. Since Holly had visited Wayne, he'd been broken into like 3 times. So basically Holly and her mom, who's coming with her to South Africa this time around, they're both saying that they want to move out, go to like a gated community, but Wayne is saying he don't have that type of money. And I don't know if Holly and her mom are understanding that. I don't know what the heck Holly does for a living, so I'm a little confused on that one. In terms of how she's contributing. I don't remember. I think she might have said it during the show, but I don't remember what she said. But anyways, those are the main couples that I kind of wanted to discuss. That's just the first 3 episodes. Of course, there's more to come. I might end up talking about the other couples, but as of right now, there hasn't really been much in terms of their storylines. So yeah, y'all let me know what your thoughts are on this season of 90 Day Fiance The Other Way so far down in the comments, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.